Thoreau said this. He said, if you advance confidently in the direction of your own dreams and endeavor to live the life which you have imagined, you will meet with a success unexpected in common hours. What that means is that success is not something that you can get in life. Success is an inner process. Success is something that you bring to everything you do in your life. It isn't something you get out of what you do. And when you get that, and you learn how to get the junk out and advance confidently, doing what makes the most amount of sense to you based on your inner signals and the one issue of morality, which is you never interfere with anybody else's right to do the same. Each person has their own right to advance confidently in the direction of their own dreams. And when you violate that, you're violating the principle of the universe, the essence of the universe, which is cooperation and harmony. Then success will begin to chase you. And it will come into your life and arrive in your life in amounts that you never dreamt of before. That you never dreamt of. Things will start happening to you that you would never imagine before. I'm working on a book right now that's going to be called You'll See It When You Believe It. And when you start believing in some of these principles, you'll start seeing things that you were blind to for so long. When you were back here in the 2 and the 3 and the 4 and the 5, when you were moving away from yourself, as long as you're moving back towards your universal essence, your harmony with yourself, your cooperation with the rest, things will start happening in ways that you never dreamt of. Jung called it synchronicity. And it's a term that we use to explain how unexplainable coincidences sort of happen in our life. And how come these things happen? I'm going to share a couple of those with you before we leave. The quality versus appearance in your life means that you get that inner candle flame working in a way that gives you quality, independent of what other people think of you. Maslow, in defining self-actualizing, no-limit people, said they are independent of the good opinion of other people. Of the good opinion of other people. Independent of it. They're so busy advancing confidently, doing the things that make sense, and bringing success to changing their baby's diaper, and bringing success to weeding their garden, and bringing it to the job. They bring it on the airplane so that when they run into somebody who is rude to them, a stewardess that is rude, they don't see it as an attack on them. It's just where they are, and they send them love. Help them a little bit, you know? They're kind. When somebody wants to get in on the freeway, and they're one old temptation when they were on the 1 to the 6 side was to say, oh yeah, nobody's getting in front of me, I'm getting there first. It's like, they slow down a little bit. They don't have all that type A stuff of having to beat somebody else and having to defeat somebody. It's a new way of being. It's a way of quality where your harmony allows you to cooperate, and you are a part of what this whole thing is about. New way of being, quality rather than appearances. Instead of looking all your life for achievements and externals, try living your life on knowledge for the sake of knowledge. Knowledge instead of achievement. For the sake of knowledge. Being in a context in which you don't have to collect a lot of merit badges. You don't have to collect a lot of awards and other people's value judgments. That you go to school or you go out into the world or you read or whatever it is you do because it makes sense to you, not because of what somebody else is going to put on a transcript or where you're going to appear in a class list. We're in an achievement-oriented society, which tells us that we evaluate and judge a human being based upon how many achievements he has. But most of the people who get caught up in that trap and are always in this circle of trying to get ahead, trying to always get ahead, their reward for that almost always is higher blood pressure, ulcers, early deaths, and even things like cancer, we're beginning to find out, are related to the kinds of stresses that we have. And remember, it's a perfect universe. There's no stress in it. There's only people thinking stressful thoughts. And when you put that pressure on yourself to always achieve and get ahead of the other guy, you miss what it's really all about. There's nothing wrong with goals. It's falling in love with them that's the problem. It's not being able to be flexible and alter them. If you have a goal to get here, to get $100,000 in the bank, to get to this promotion, to get 2 cars in your garage, whatever it is that your goal is, and you're on your way to that, and you're always working at the goal, all of this stuff on your way to the goal is called striving, and that's what you learn, striving. And striving is a very low-level place to be. When you get to your goal, because all you've ever known is striving, you will just always suffer from this disease called more. You will just upgrade your goal to $200,000, 4 cars and 2 houses and another wife and a younger one and all of these kinds of things. If you have a goal and you understand that every step along the way is a present moment to enjoy and to live, then the goal won't become any obsession. I don't have any goals in my life. People ask me, where are you going to be 5 years from now? What are you going to be doing? What's next for you? I remember what Lincoln said, who to me was like the greatest person who ever sat in that White House. He said, I never had a policy. He said, I just tried to do what made the greatest amount of sense each and every day of my life as I sat there as the President of the United States. And I think there's something really significant in that you don't have to get it all planned out and follow a certain pattern and do it a certain way. If you just sort of trust your inner instincts and go with that and live each moment, the goal stuff will all take care of itself. But if you're sacrificing and pushing your life aside and suffering on your way to trying to get someplace, you'll never get there. It will always elude you, because once you get there, you'll just have to upgrade it. And that's because that's all you'll know. Nowness is that purest form of sanity, living in this moment and enjoying it. And all the rest of it will sort of work its way out.
Imagine waking up one day to find that your wildest dreams have become your reality. The life you've always yearned for, the abundance, you've craved the love, you've longed for all of it manifested before your very eyes. What if I told you that this is not merely a fantasy, but a truth that lies dormant? Within you, waiting to be awake in the universe, is not some distant, unresponsive entity. It is a living, breathing force that is constantly listening to the whispers of your soul. And once you start asking the universe in the right way, with unwavering faith and conviction, your desires are not just hurt, but they're already done. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to effortlessly attract abundance, love, and success, while others struggle to make ends meet? The answer lies in the power of your thoughts, your beliefs, and your emotions. They're all powerful frequencies that shape your reality. When you learn to harness this power, when you learn to communicate with the universe in its own language, you become the master of your own destiny. But here's the catch. Most people ask from a place of lack, from a place of doubt and fear. They beg and plead with the universe, hoping for scraps of mercy. But the universe does not respond to desperation. It responds to faith. It responds to the unshakable belief that what you desire is already yours. So how do you ask the universe in a way that guarantees results? How do you tap into the limitless abundance that is your birthright? The answer lies in the power of your imagination, love, assumption. And the inevitability of manifest your imagination is the creative force within you, the tool that allows you to shape your reality when you visualize your desires with vivid detail and unwavering faith. You are sending a powerful signal to the universe. You are telling it that what you desire has already done the law. Assumption states that whatever you assume to be true, the universe will make real. When you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, when you live in the end result of your desires, you are aligning yourself the frequency of abundance. You are telling the universe that you are ready to receive, that you are worthy of your dreams. And here's the best part. Once you start asking the universe, like this manifestation becomes inevitable, the universe will conspire to bring your desires to fruition, to align the people, circumstances, and events necessary to make your dreams a reality. All you need to do is trust the process, to let go of doubt and fear, and to maintain unwavering faith in the inevitability of your success. So my friends, I invite you to embrace this practice with every fiber of your being, to wake up each day with a sense of excitement and anticipation, knowing that your desires are on their way, to cultivate a deep sense of gratitude for the blessings in your life, even before they have manifested, to surrender to the perfect timing and unfolding of the universe, trusting that everything is happening for your highest good. And above all, I invite you to remember the truth of who you are. You are not just a physical being confined to the limitations of this earthly realm. You are an infinite, eternal, powerful creator with the ability to shape your reality in any way you choose. Your divine spark of the universe itself is a unique expression of the infinite intelligence that pervades all things. As you go forth from this moment, carry this truth with you. Let it be your guiding light, your North Star, your unwavering conviction. Know that you are worthy of your desires, that you're capable of manifesting miracles, that you are loved and supported by the universe in every moment. And when challenges arise, when doubts creep in, when the journey seems long and uncertain, remember the words of the great mystic Rumi: what you seek is seeking you. Your desires are not some distant, unattainable fantasy. They are the very essence of your being, the call of your soul. Trust in their inevitability and let them guide you home. So my friends, go forth with faith, with conviction, with unwavering belief in the power of your dreams. Manifest miracles, create magic, and live a life beyond your wildest imagination. The universe is waiting for you, cheering you on, conspiring in your faith. All you have to do is say yes, yes to your desires. Yes to your dreams. Yes to the infinite possibility that lies within you. Yes to a life of joy, abundance, and limitless potential. Yes to the magic and miracles of the universe. Now and always, thank you for joining me on this journey of manifestation. May your dreams take like. May your desires become reality, and may your life be a living testament to the power of your faith. The universe is yours, my friends. Claim it, own it, and let it lead you to a life beyond your wildest dreams. But every step along the bridge of incidents is necessary. Every challenge, every setback, every unexpected twist and turn is part of the divine plan. It's all leading you closer to your desires, even when it doesn't feel like it. The key to navigating the bridge of incidents is to trust the process, to surrender to the journey, even when you can't see the way forward, to have faith that the universe is conspiring in your favor, even when it feels like everything is falling apart. Trusting the process means letting go of your attachment to the outcome. It means releasing your grip on the how and when of manifestation and allowing the universe to guide you. It means being open to the unexpected, to the miracles and synchronicities that show up along the way. When you trust the process, you open yourself up to the magic of manifestation. You allow the universe to work its wonders to bring you what you desire in ways that are beyond your wildest dreams. You become a co-creator with the universe, a partner in the dance of manifestation. The trusting the process isn't always easy. It requires a deep level of faith, a willingness to surrender to the unknown. It requires you to let go of your need for control. You need to have everything figured out. It requires you to embrace the mystery, to trust that everything is unfolding in perfect divine timing. One way to cultivate trust in the process is through the practice of gratitude. Gratitude is the act of acknowledging and appreciating the blessings in your life even before your desires have manifested. When you practice gratitude, you shift your focus from lack to abundance, from scarcity to sufficiency. You train your mind to see the good in every situation. To find the silver lining in every cloud, gratitude is also a powerful way to align yourself with the vibration of your desires. When you feel grateful for what you want, even before it is manifested, you are sending a clear signal to the universe that you are ready to receive your gift. You are telling the universe that you trust in its abundance. Way to cultivate trust in the process is through the practice of surrender. Surrender is the act of letting go of your attachment to the outcome, of releasing your need to control every aspect of your life. When you surrender, you are not giving up on your desires. You are giving them over to a higher power, to the infinite wisdom of the universe. Surrender requires a deep level of trust, the willingness to let go and allow the universe to guide you. It means being open to the unexpected, to the twists and turns. Along the bridge of incidents, it means trusting that everything is happening for your highest good. Even when it doesn't make sense in the moment, when you cultivate trust, in the process, when you practice gratitude and surrender manifestation becomes effortless. Your desires flow to you with ease and grace, and your life becomes a living testament to the power of your faith. You become a magnet for miracles, conduit for the abundance of the universe as we come to the end of this journey. I want to remind you of the incredible power that lies within you. The power to create your reality, to manifest your deepest desires, to live a life beyond your wildest dreams. This power is not some distance unattainable, for it is the very essence of who you are. It is the birthright of every human being on this planet. Throughout this speech, we've explored the key principles manifest and the power of imagination, the law of assumption, the art of asking. We've discovered that the universe is not some separate entity, but a live, breathing extension of our own consciousness, that our thoughts, beliefs, and assumptions create our reality. And that by aligning ourselves with the vibration of our desires, we can manifest miracles on demand. But the journey of manifestation is not a one-time event, it is a lifelong practice. It requires a daily commitment to aligning your thoughts, beliefs, and actions with the reality you want to create. It requires a willingness to let go of limiting beliefs, to embrace the unknown, to trust in the perfect timing of the universe. And yet, the rewards of this practice are beyond measure when you live from a place of faith and conviction, when you trust in the inevitability of your desires. Your life becomes a living testament to the power of manifestation. You attract people, circumstances, and opportunities that support your vision. You experience a level of joy, abundance, and fulfillment that most people only dream of. Conviction is the unshakable belief in the truth of your desires, is the inner knowing that what you want is already yours, that it's your divine right to experience abundance, love. When you ask with conviction, you are not just making a request, you are making a command. You are telling the universe that this is what you expect, that this is what you demand. You are not asking for permission. You are claiming your birthright. But conviction isn't just about the words you speak. It's about the energy. Behind those words, it's about the feeling of certainty, of unwavering faith that infuses every cell of your being. When you ask with conviction, you're not just speaking your desires. You're becoming the vibrational much for what you want to experience. The third step in the art of asking is to let go of doubt and fear. Doubt and fear are the enemies of manifestation. They are the voices in your head that tell you it's not possible, that you're not worthy, that you'll never have what you want. They are the limiting beliefs that keep you stuck in a cycle of lack and limitations. But here's the thing, doubt and fear are just thoughts. They're not the truth of who you are. You have the power to choose your thoughts, to choose your beliefs, to choose your assumptions. When you let go of doubt and fear, you create space for faith and conviction to take root. One powerful way to let go of doubt and fears through the practice of surrender. Surrender is the act of releasing your attachment to the outcome, of trusting that the universe has your back. Even when you can't see the way forward, when you surrender, you're not giving up on your desires, giving them to a higher power, to the infinite wisdom of the universe. Surrender requires a deep level of trust, a willingness to let go of control and allow the universe to guide you. It requires you to release your grip on the how and when of manifestation, and to trust that everything is unfolding in perfect divine timing. The final step in the art of asking is to align your thoughts and actions with your desires. Manifestation is not just about asking. It's about becoming coming. It's about aligning every aspect of your being with the reality you want to create. This means thinking thoughts that match your desires, speaking words that affirm your worth, abundance, and taking actions that move you closer to your goals. It means living as if your desires are already a reality even before they manifest in your physical world. When you align your thoughts and actions with your desires, you become a magnet for miracles. You attract people, circumstances, opportunities that support your vision. You create a life that is a living testament to the power of your faith and conviction. So my friends, I invite you to master the art of asking. Ask with faith, with conviction, and with unwavering belief in the truth of your desires. Let go of without and feared and surrender to the perfect timing and unfolding of the universe. Align your thoughts and actions with your desires and become the vibrational match for the reality you want to create. When you do, miracles become commonplace. The universe conspires to bring your desires into manifest. Life becomes a living testament to the power of your asking. Master the art of asking and watch as your wildest dreams become your everyday reality. When you master the art of asking, when you align your thoughts, beliefs, and actions with the reality of your desires, manifestation becomes inevitable. It's not a question of if your desires will manifest, but when the universe is always listening, always responding to the vibration you are offering, and when you offer a vibration of faith, conviction, and unwavering belief, the universe has no choice but to deliver. But how exactly does manifestation work? How does the universe take your desires and turn them into physical reality? The answer lies in the concept of the bridge of incidents. The bridge of incidents is the series of events, people, and circumstances that the universe orchestrates to bring your desires into manifestation. It's the way the universe connects the dots, aligns the pieces of the puzzle, and creates the perfect conditions for your desires to come to fruition. When you ask for something, the universe immediately begins to arrange the bridge of incidents. It starts to move people and circumstances into place to create opportunities and open doors that will lead you to your desired out. It's like a cosm game of dominoes where each piece falls perfectly into place, creating a chain reaction of manifestation. But here's the thing. The bridge of incidents doesn't always look the way you expect it to sometimes. It takes you on a journey that seems unrelated to your desires. Sometimes it brings you challenges and obstacles that you must overcome. Sometimes it requires you to take leaps of faith and trust in the unknown. No. Hoping, wishing, or striving for your desire. Instead, you're living as if they're already a reality, as if they have already manifested in your life. This is a subtle but profound shift in consciousness. Most people spend their lives in a state of wanting a feeling like they're lacking something they believe that they will be happy when they finally achieve their goals, when they finally manifest their desires. But the truth is that state of wanting only perpetuates more wanting. It keeps you stuck in a cycle of lack and limitation. The law of assumption you to break free from that cycle, to step into the reality of your desires right now. It invites you to assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, to embody the energy of abundance, love, and success, even before it shows up in your physical reality. So how to do that? You live in the end. Even when your current circumstances don't match your desired reality, the key is persistence. It's about maintaining the state of your wish fulfillment, even in the face of doubts, fear, or setbacks. When you first start practicing the law of assumption, it can feel uncomfortable, even delusional. Your mind will try to convince you that it's not real, that you're just fooling yourself. But the more you persist in maintaining the state of your wish fulfilled, the more natural it becomes. You start to see evidence of your desire manifesting in your life, and your faith grows stronger. One powerful way to maintain the state of yours fulfilled is through affirmations. Affirmations are positive statements that you repeat to yourself either out loud or silently that reinforce your desired reality. For example, if your desire is to manifest financial abundance, you might repeat affirmations like, I am a magnet for money. Abundance flows to me easily and effortlessly. I'm worthy of all the wealth and prosperity I desire. By repeating these affirmations consistently, you are reprogrammed in your subconscious mind to align with the reality of your desires. You're shifting your assumptions, your beliefs, and your inner conversations to match the frequency of abundance. Another way to maintain the state of your wish fulfilled. Visualization, as we discussed earlier, visualization is a powerful tool for engaging your imagination and aligning yourself with the frequency of your desires. When you visualize your desired reality with vivid detail and emotion, you are sending a clear signal to the universe that this is what you want to experience. But the key to effective visualization is to engage all of your senses, not just your visual sense imagined, not just what your desired reality looks like or what it feels like, smells like, tastes like, and sounds like. The more fully you engage your senses, the more real your visualization becomes to your subconscious mind. The law of assumption is not just a tool for manifestation. It is a way of being. When you live from a place of assumption, you are no longer a victim of your circumstances. You become the creator of your reality, master of your destiny. You recognize that your assumptions, your beliefs, and your inner conversations have the power to shape your experience of life. And you choose to align them with the reality of your desires. Now that we've explored the power of imagination and the law of assumption, let's dive into the art of asking. Asking is the bridge between your desires and their manifestation. It's the way you communicate with the universe, the way you declare your intentions, and set the wheels of creation in motion. But here's the thing. Most people don't know how to ask. They ask from a place of lack of desperation or fear. They beg and plead with the universe, hoping for scraps of mercy. But the universe doesn't respond to desperation. It responds to faith. It responds to the unwavering conviction that what you desire is already your soul. How do you ask in a way that guarantees results? The first step is to ask with faith. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. When you ask with faith, you're not hoping or wishing for your desires to manifest. You are declaring that they are already done. You are aligning yourself with the reality of your desires even before they show up in your physical world. This kind of faith requires a deep trust in the universe and knowing that your desires are not just possible, but inevitable. It requires you to release your attachment to the how and when of manifestation and to surrender to the perfect timing and unfolding of the universe. The second step in the art of asking is to ask with conviction. So my friends, are you ready to have your world turned upside down? Are you ready to experience the limitless abundance that is your birthright? Then join me on this journey of manifestation as we explore the art of asking the universe in a way that guarantees results your wildest dreams are about to become your everyday reality. The power of your imagination is the key to unlocking the limitless potential within you. It is the creative force that allows you to shape your reality, to bring your desires into manifestation. When you harness the power of your imagination, you become the architect of your own destiny. But what exactly is imagination? And how does it work? Imagination is the ability to create mental images, to visualize scenarios and possibilities that don't yet exist in the physical world. It is the bridge between the unseen and the seen, the link between the infinite potential of the universe and the tangible reality of your life. When you imagine something with vivid detail and unwavering faith, You're sending a powerful signal to the universe. You are telling it that what you desire is already done, that it is already yours. The universe doesn't distinguish between what is real and what is imagined. It simply responds to the frequency of your thoughts and emotions. So how do you cultivate the power of your imagination? The first step is to get clear on what you truly desire. What does your ideal life look like? What kind of relationships, experiences, and abundance? Do you want to attract the most specific and detailed your vision? The more powerful your imagination becomes once you have a clear vision, the next step is to engage your senses. Imagine not just the visual aspects of your desire, but the sounds, smells, tastes, and textures as well. The more fully you engage your senses, the more real your imagination becomes to your subconscious mind. For example, if your desire is to manifest your dream home, imagine yourself walking through front door, feel the texture of the doorknob in your hand, the sensation, the floor beneath your feet, smell the aroma of your favorite scent wafting through the air. Hear the laughter and conversation of your loved ones echoing through the rooms. The more vividly you imagine, the more powerfully you align yourself with the frequency of your desire. But the power of imagination goes beyond just visualizing your desires. It also involves assuming the feeling of your wish fulfilled. In other words, it means living as if your desires are already a reality even before they manifest in the physical world. This is where the law of assumption comes into play. The law of assumption states that whatever you assume to be true, the universe will make real when you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled. You are aligning yourself with the frequency of abundance, love, and success. You are telling the universe that you are ready to receive, that you are worthy of your dream. So how do you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled? One powerful technique is to practice gratitude in advance instead of waiting for your desires to manifest before you. Feel grateful, start expressing gratitude. Now, for what you know is on its way, say things like, "Thank you, universe, for my dream home. I am so grateful to wake up every morning in a space that fills me with joy and inspiration." By expressing gratitude in advance, you are aligning yourself with the frequency of abundance and attracting more what you desire. Another technique is to act as if your desire is already a reality. If your desire is to manifest a loving relationship, start treating yourself with the love and respect you desire from a partner. Take yourself on dates, buy yourself flowers, and speak kindly to yourself in the mirror by embodying the energy of love. You attract more love into your life. The power of imagination is not just a tool for manifestation, it is a way of life. When you live from a place of imagination, you open yourself up to infinite possibilities. You become a magnet for American conduit for the limitless abundance of the universe. The law of assumption is a powerful principle that can transform your life in ways you never thought possible. It states that whatever you assume to be true, the universe will make real. In other words, your assumptions create your reality. Think about that for a moment. Your assumptions, your beliefs, your inner conversations, they all have the power to shape your experience of life. When you assume that you are worthy of love and abundance, the universe responds by bringing more love and abundance into your life. When you assume that you are capable of achieving your dreams, the universe comes to make those dreams a reality. But the law of assumption goes even deeper, that it's not just about assuming positive things, it's about living in the end, about embodying the feeling of your wish fulfilled when you live in the end.
There is nothing broken in you, nothing that needs repair. You are not a machine gone wrong or a puzzle with missing pieces. You are not a project that needs managing or a story that needs rewriting to suit someone else's narrative. You are not here to be fixed because you are not faulty. You are here to be freed. Freed from the illusion that you ever needed to be more than what you are in this sacred breathing moment. From the time we arrive on this earth, we are bombarded with subtle suggestions that we are incomplete, that we are somehow not enough, not yet, not quite, not ever, unless we strive, unless we earn, unless we prove. But the truth, the eternal truth is this: you arrived whole. You arrived divine, you arrived worthy, you arrived enough. What came later was conditioning. What came later were opinions. What came later were stories that others had written in their own pain and unknowingly passed on to you. But the soul beneath those stories, it has never changed. You see, the soul doesn't need fixing. It only longs to be remembered. It only longs to be released from the prison of your own forgetting. You are not your wounds. You are not your thoughts. You are not your past. You are the awareness beneath it, all spacious, still, unshaken, and eternal. You are the witness who sees it all but is bound by none of it. So why do we spend so much time trying to fix ourselves? Because we have believed the loudest voice, not the truest one. We have given our attention to the surface noise, the opinions of the world, the judgments of culture, the comparisons we've made, and in doing so, we have silenced the whisper of our inner knowing, that sacred voice that does not shout, that does not condemn, but gently reminds us, you were never meant to live like this. We don't need to become someone else to be free. We only need to remove what is not us. And the beautiful thing is, freedom does not require force. It requires surrender. Not a giving up, but a giving over. A letting go of the armor we built to survive in a world that taught us to fear being ourselves. The pain we carry is often not our own. It is the inherited fear of those who came before us. Their doubt, their scarcity, their trauma, their shame, passed on not because they were cruel, but because they were asleep. And now we have the choice not to fix what they gave us, but to release it. We were taught to seek wholeness in doing, in earning, and achieving, as if we were born empty and must spend our lives filling a void. But there is no void in the soul. Only the illusion of separation from the source that created you. When you return to that source, when you become still, when you breathe, when you listen, you begin to see with new eyes. You begin to remember that wholeness was never something to seek. It is something to return to, something to uncover, something that's been buried beneath layers of expectation, fear, and identity. Imagine a magnificent sculpture hidden beneath a block of stone. The sculptor does not add anything to the marble, he removes what is not the masterpiece. And so it is with your life. Healing is not about becoming something new. It's about shedding what you are not. And in that shedding, you find the freedom you've been chasing all along. There is no need to run anymore. There is no need to strive toward some imagined perfection. The soul does not evolve by force. It unfolds by grace, by stillness, by trust, by the deep inner knowing that nothing real can be threatened, that who you truly are cannot be damaged, that the self beneath all the noise, the timeless, formless, eternal self, does not need therapy, does not need improvement. It needs only recognition. And when you begin to see yourself through the eyes of the divine, you stop asking, what's wrong with me? And begin to ask, what do I need to let go of that's not mine? You begin to ask, what story am I still telling that's keeping me small? You begin to ask, whose approval am I still chasing, and why do I believe I need it? These are not questions to judge yourself, they are keys to your own prison. Because the only thing keeping you from freedom is the belief that you are not already free. You were conditioned to believe that your worth was tied to doing, but your worth is in your being. You were taught to hustle for love, but love is your nature. You were raised to believe peace is something to find, but peace is what happens when you stop running. The ego will tell you that you're not enough, that you must strive harder, perform better, prove your value, but the soul waits patiently for the day you turn inward and remember, you are not your ego. You are not your pain. You are not your past. You are not the role you play, the name you were given, the mask you wear. You are not your mistakes or your achievements. You are not what they said about you, and you are not what you said about yourself when you forgot who you were. You are the sky not the weather. You are the ocean, not the waves. You are the light, not the lampshade. And when you recognize this, when you truly embody this, the need to fix yourself begins to fall away. You stop trying to polish your reflection and start honoring the radiance that's always been there. Freedom is not the absence of flaws, it's the absence of judgment. It's the end of resistance. It's the softening that happens when you meet yourself with compassion instead of criticism. When you hold your sadness like a child and say, "You are safe with me." When you embrace your confusion without trying to solve it. When you allow your humanity without labeling it as failure. This is the paradox of awakening. The moment you stop trying to change yourself is the moment transformation begins. Because true change is not born from shame. It is born from love. When you finally see yourself clearly not as damaged, but divine, you don't need to be fixed. You simply allow your true self to be seen, to be known, to be honored. And in that space, life begins to unfold in its own miraculous rhythm. There is a great stillness within you, deeper than your fear, deeper than your past. It is the stillness of your own divine essence, that sacred flame that was never extinguished, only covered. And when you sit in silence, when you breathe deeply, when you let go of the need to prove or protect or perform, that stillness becomes your teacher. It whispers the truth you've always known, that you are not here to become worthy. You are here to remember that you already are. The world may never affirm this truth for you. In fact, it often does the opposite. It celebrates effort, not essence. It rewards masks, not authenticity. But the soul doesn't care for applause. It longs for alignment. It longs for you to remember what it whispered when you were still a child, before the conditioning, before the comparison, before the pretending. That whisper said, "You are already home. You are already whole. You are already free." But to hear it now, you must unlearn. You must unlearn the belief that healing comes from adding more and more books, more affirmations, more rituals, more effort. Sometimes healing is subtraction. Sometimes the medicine is silence. Sometimes the breakthrough is in the breakdown. And sometimes the most spiritual act is to stop trying and simply allow yourself to be exactly as you are, without resistance, without apology. This doesn't mean you won't grow. It means your growth will no longer be a frantic race to fix what you believe is broken. Instead, it becomes a gentle unfolding, a return to your true nature, the way a rose doesn't strive to bloom, but simply opens in the light. You were born to open. Not to earn the sun, but to reveal what has always been hidden beneath the armor of self-doubt and the weight of expectation. Look around at nature. The tree does not apologize for how it bends toward the light. The river does not question its twists. The mountain does not feel shame for its stillness. The moon does not ask permission to shine. And yet, you, the most miraculous creation of all, were told somewhere along the way that you must apologize for simply being who you are. That you must hide your tenderness, that your sensitivity is weakness, that your joy must be earned, your tears must be silenced, and your uniqueness must be diluted so others feel more comfortable. But you were never meant to be acceptable. You were meant to be authentic. And authenticity begins the moment you stop trying to be more and start allowing yourself to be enough. Not because of what you've done, but because of what you are, a divine expression of life itself. You do not need to fix your pain. You need to listen to it. Let it speak. Let it rise. Let it move through you like the tide. Don't dam it up with false positivity or drown it with distractions. Let it tell you where it hurts. Let it show you what it's still carrying. And then, not with judgment, but with compassion, place your hand over your heart and say, "I see you. I hear you. I'm with you now." You've tried being hard on yourself. You've tried self-criticism and guilt and endless striving. Where did it get you? Tired, disconnected, afraid to slow down, afraid to stop, afraid to be still. But try love, try gentleness, try radical self-acceptance, not because you've earned it, but because your soul was never unworthy to begin with. It's easy to love yourself when you feel successful, inspired, enlightened. But freedom is found when you can love yourself in the confusion, in the darkness, in the mess. The soul doesn't reject your mess. It moves through it like light through shadow. It doesn't say, you should be better by now. It says, welcome, you're safe here. Let's go deeper. And when you go deeper, you'll find the pain wasn't asking for punishment, it was asking for presence. It wasn't a sign that you are broken. It was a sign that something old is ready to be released. You are not your trauma. You are the space that witnessed it. You are not your depression. You are the awareness that feels it. You are not your anxiety. You are the stillness beneath it. And when you stop identifying with the waves and remember you are the ocean, everything changes. Not because your circumstances change overnight, but because you stop resisting what is, and in doing so, you become truly free. You do not have to pretend anymore. You do not have to force joy. You do not have to chase perfection. You are allowed to be exactly where you are, with every contradiction, every question unanswered. Enlightenment is not the absence of humanity, it is the embrace of it. The fully awakened soul does not live above the storm, it knows how to dance in the rain. So stop asking, what do I need to fix in me? And begin asking, what do I need to love in me? Stop trying to escape your feelings and instead invite them to tea. They have wisdom. They have stories. They have roots that trace back generations. You don't need to analyze every detail. You don't need to solve every wound. You need only to stay with it, breathe through it, trust the process of release, not as a technique, but as a sacred return to self. Because the self, the real self, the one untouched by the world, has never been damaged. It is not a personality. It is not an identity. It is not a role. It is the pure light of presence. It is the observer. It is the stillness beneath all doing. And when you sit in that stillness long enough, when you become aware of the awareness itself, healing ceases to be a goal and becomes a natural byproduct of returning to truth. You are already that which you seek. Not someday, not if, not once you've read one more book or healed one more wound. Right now, in this breath, in this moment, as you are, the only veil is the thought that you are not. Spiritual freedom is not about becoming better, it's about becoming real. Not in the eyes of others, but in your own. It's the moment you stop waiting for someone else to see you and you finally see yourself. The moment you stop waiting for permission and you grant it to yourself. The moment you stop running from your past and realize that every step, even the painful ones, were part of your unfolding. Nothing has been wasted, not your detours, not your heartbreak, not your silence, not your confusion. Even your regrets have led you here to the edge of awakening, to the doorway of truth. And now you must decide, will you keep trying to fix yourself into worthiness, or will you lay down your tools and simply return to your divine essence? Because freedom begins when you no longer believe that your value is negotiable. When you stop asking the world to validate what was already written in the stars the day you were born, you were not made to be perfect. You were made to be real. And in your realness, you radiate more light than any mask ever could. The healing you seek is not in becoming someone else. It's in unbecoming everything you are not. Every belief that says you're too much or not enough. Every lie that says you must earn love. Every inherited shame that says your emotions are inconvenient. Every label that was never yours to wear. Let them fall away. Let them burn in the fire of your awareness. And let what's left, the raw, tender, powerful truth of who you are, stand tall in its sacredness. Because the truth is, you don't need to be fixed. You never did. You only need to stop believing the thought that says you do. The illusion that you need fixing is born from comparison. You measured yourself against someone else's path, someone else's timeline, someone else's rules. But the soul doesn't compare, it knows. It knows the perfection of your own journey. It knows that the The seasons of your life do not follow a clock on the wall or a calendar and a planner. They follow the rhythm of the cosmos, the divine choreography of unfolding. Your winter is not your punishment. It is your preparation. Your delay is not your denial. It is your deepening. And your breakdown is not your end. It is your initiation. You were never behind. You were becoming. You were never off track. You were being rerouted. You were never late. You were ripening. And all this time you thought life was punishing you when it was actually preparing you to carry your light with humility, to carry your freedom with reverence, to carry your voice with truth. There is something in you that has never been touched by shame, something in you that has never forgotten your original light. And if you sit with yourself in silence, if you listen deeply without trying to solve, that something will rise. And it will not be loud. It will be still. Like the hush of early dawn before the world wakes. Like the sacred pause between the in-breath and the out-breath. That stillness is your truth. That stillness is yourself. And it doesn't need healing. It needs space. You do not become more valuable by becoming more palatable. You do not become more worthy by becoming more agreeable. You do not become more loved by becoming less you. The moment you sacrifice your truth for someone else's comfort, you lose the very freedom your soul came here to embody. You were not born to fit in, you were born to awaken. To show others what is possible when a human being stops trying to fix themselves and starts trusting the perfection of their own becoming. And yes, it can be messy, but freedom is not clean. It is raw, it is vulnerable, it is beautifully human. And in your most human moments, your tears, your fears, your quiet longings, the light of your divinity shines the brightest. It says, even this belongs. Even this is sacred. Even this is part of the unfolding. Let go of the belief that your pain disqualifies you. It qualifies you. It softens your heart, humbles your mind, cracks the shell of the ego so the soul can pour through. Do not hide it. Do not bury it under spiritual bypassing or intellectual armor. Bring it into the light. Hold it in your hands like a sacred relic. Let it teach you. Let it open you. Let it remind you that even the darkest night holds a purpose you may not yet understand. The caterpillar doesn't understand the chrysalis. It only knows stillness. It only knows the surrender of no longer crawling. It only knows the silence that precedes transformation. And so it is with your journey. You may not understand why it feels so heavy. You may not see the wings forming beneath your skin, but one day you will break through what once confined you. One day you will fly, not because you fixed yourself, but because you remembered yourself. And that is the great paradox. The more you try to change yourself from a place of rejection, the more you suffer. But the moment you embrace yourself fully in the raw, the real, the incomplete, something miraculous happens. You begin to heal, not by force, but by love. You begin to transform not by effort, but by grace. You begin to rise, not because you climbed a ladder of self-improvement, but because you laid down the burden of pretending and let yourself be carried by truth. You don't need a new identity. You don't need to perform your healing. You don't need to prove your progress. You only need to breathe, to pause, to return. And in that return, to whisper softly to yourself, I am here, I am whole, I am free. Your freedom was never lost. It was only forgotten, covered over by the noise of the world, hidden beneath layers of conditioning and survival. But the truth cannot be erased. It can only be ignored. And the moment you turn toward it, the moment you trust that whisper more than the scream of fear, the veil lifts. Not all at once, sometimes gently, sometimes painfully, but always perfectly timed. You have tried being everything you thought you needed to be. Now try being nothing but who you are. You have tried controlling every outcome. Now try trusting the mystery. You have tried running. Now try resting. You have tried earning. Now try receiving. And see what happens when you no longer demand anything from life except to show up with an open heart. You are not your defense mechanisms. You are not your coping patterns. You are not your shadows. You are the one who is aware of them, and awareness is healing. It does not condemn, it does not fix. It simply sees. And in seeing without judgment, the very patterns that once held you captive begin to dissolve, not because you fought them, but because you loved yourself through them. So many spend their lives chasing enlightenment as if it were some peak to reach, some badge to wear. But true awakening is so simple. It's the moment you sit down, exhale, and realize, I am okay. I am enough. I don't have to become anything other than this. That is what the great mystics spoke of. That is what freedom feels like. Not a constant high, not a state of perfection, but a profound peace with what is. A deep yes to your own aliveness. The soul doesn't need to be impressive. It doesn't care how many people approve of you. It only cares if you approve of you. If you can look in the mirror and not flinch, if you can stand in your truth without shrinking, if you can walk into the world no longer asking, am I enough? But instead declaring, I am. And when you live from that place, something extraordinary happens. You begin to attract people who recognize your truth, not because you perform for them, but because your energy resonates with their soul. You begin to draw in experiences that match your authenticity, not because you manipulated them, but because life mirrors back what you believe. And the more you embody your own freedom, the more you become a permission slip for others to do the same. You don't need to be fixed, just freed. Freed from old identities, freed from generational wounds, freed from expectations that were never yours, freed from the lie that says you must be anyone other than who you already are. The healing is in the allowing, the freedom is in the remembering, the awakening is in the surrender. So pause right now, breathe. Feel your heart beating. That is not brokenness. That is life, that is love, that is divinity pulsing through you. You don't have to earn it. You don't have to fight for it. You are it. There is nothing wrong with you. There never was. There is only the forgetting and the sacred, glorious, unstoppable journey of remembering. And so we return not to where we began, but to the place within that never moved. You may have searched in books and rituals and gurus and systems. You may have traveled miles, spent years, and emptied your heart looking for the key to wholeness. But the key was never far. It was always within. Not in the striving, but in the surrender. Not in the fixing, but in the releasing. Let it be known, the work is not to fix yourself. The work is to stop abandoning yourself, to stop betraying your truth for the comfort of others, to stop dimming your light to fit the mold of the fearful, to stop apologizing for existing. Your freedom does not come through perfecting your flaws. It comes through honoring your wholeness, even in the presence of those flaws. Because wholeness isn't about being flawless. It's about being true. The wound you thought disqualified you, it made you a healer. The heartbreak you thought was the end, it was a portal. The mistake you thought would define you, it was the invitation to forgive, to rise, to soften into your sacred humanness. And the shame you've carried for years, it was never yours to hold. You can lay it down now. You are safe to be seen. You are safe to be known. You are safe to be loved, not for who you could be, but for who you already are. Can you feel it? The softening in your chest, the quiet recognition in your belly, the sacred breath returning to your body. That is you coming home. That is you remembering. That is you no longer rushing, no longer fighting, no longer trying to fix what was never broken. You are not a problem to be solved. You are a mystery to be lived. You are a sacred unfolding, not a final product. There is nothing final about you. You are ongoing, infinite, evolving, yet never incomplete. The seed does not apologize for not being the tree. The moon does not shrink because it is not yet full, neither should you. Because freedom is not something you arrive at. It is something you allow. It is not a mountaintop you must climb. It is a truth you must remember. The prison was never made of steel. It was made of thoughts, of stories, of beliefs passed down by the afraid, the ashamed, the asleep. And now you awaken. Awakening is not about transcending your humanity. It's about embracing it. It's about seeing that your fear, your sadness, your longing, they are not signs of failure. They are signs of aliveness. Your sensitivity is not a burden, it is your gift. Your longing is not your weakness, it is your guidance. Your emotions are not liabilities, they are invitations to deepen. And when you stop resisting them, when you stop labeling your inner experience as wrong or broken or messy, you begin to live as you were always meant to, free, fluid, whole. There is such power in your softness, such beauty in your vulnerability, such truth in your tenderness. You do not have to harden to survive. You do not have to toughen up to be respected. You do not have to edit your soul for the approval of a world still asleep to its own divinity. Be soft, be open, be real. That is where your strength lives. That is where your peace is born. Forgive yourself, not because you were wrong, but because you believed you were unworthy. Forgive those who hurt you, not because they were right, but because they too forgot who they were. And in forgiveness, find your wings, not because you want to fly above life, but because you are finally light enough to walk through it with grace. The path forward is not paved in perfection. It is paved in presence, in allowing, in radical honesty, in compassion for your younger self, in tenderness toward the one inside you who tried so hard to be lovable. That one is not your enemy. That one is not your flaw. That one is your beginning. And now you are your return. Return to your body, return to your breath, return to the space between thoughts where truth still lives. Return to the moment again and again until the moment becomes your home. That's where freedom waits. Not tomorrow, not someday, but now. Always now. Let them misunderstand you. Let them label you. Let them doubt your path. You are not here to convince anyone of your worth. You are here to embody it, to walk it, to live so deeply in your truth that others remember their own by the way you move through the world. And no, you will not always get it right. You will falter. You will forget. You will fall into the old stories now and then. But that is not failure. That is the rhythm of remembering. That is the spiral dance of awakening. Each time deeper. Each time softer. Each time freer. So breathe. Feel this moment. Not with your mind, with your being. Can you see? There is nothing to fix. There is only something to feel, something to remember, something to love. And that something is you, whole, sacred, free.